There is no investigation. This boy has...
There is not, really? It is to me.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy
There
has...
is not, really? It is to me. Right. Idiot.
I've done my best. It's hard, you know, that's real tough.
but I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
Live from the NBD Production Studios, you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
There is no investigation. This boy has...
There is not, really? It is to me.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys. But I have to.
There is no investigation.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her. But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. It is 7:34 p.m. on the West Coast, April 21st. I hope everybody has had a great day. Thank you for joining. Please like, share, subscribe. Always appreciated. And it is so good to be with you tonight. I've been kind of spotty on shows, obviously, because of family stuff, and that stuff seems to be working itself out, and which is, all I can ask for. So thank you for all the love and support and appreciation. You guys are take fantastic care of this channel, and for that I am forever grateful. So thank you. And while people are coming in, I wanted to share something that I found fascinating out of Tennessee. The first good news to come out of Tennessee, in a long time, if you're asking me. Tennessee Senate passes bill requiring drunk drivers to pay child support if they cause the death of a parent. That is something I've never even thought about, but what an incredible bill, and it passed unanimously. So I hope that other states follow suit. That is a fantastic idea. And one more reason for people to not get behind the wheel when they drink and drive. So that is so great. And it always seems as though, and I'm sure we all know people that have been in car accidents and, been either seriously injured or lost their lives due to drunk driving. And it always seems as though the person that's not drinking is the one that gets hurt or, dies tragically. And the drunk drivers, they seemingly walk away from these things unharmed. So that in itself is, a big, big win. And I hope that others follow suit. So anyway, great to be here tonight. Thank you, everybody. if you haven't been following the Madeleine McCann case, it's one of those stories. It's one of those stories that it's the stuff of nightmares. You know, there are people in the world that do nothing but look to harm us, to harm our children, to harm our family. It is, under the best of circumstances, it is difficult to protect your family. And like I said, under the best of circumstances, it is not an easy thing to do, especially when there are people out there like the man that we will talk about tonight, the now main suspect in the case of Madeline. And I've been into this case for quite some time, and way back when I was doing my little, when I say the video, the little short informational documentaries, as I would call them, I had always been fascinated by a case that didn't have a lot of answers, a very old case, years and years. I mean, when there's not a body, and we can talk about this until we're blue in the face, and everybody wants to know, like, when's justice coming? When's justice coming? It's hard to say. You just never know when justice is going to come, or if it ever will, but you have to keep faith. And I have had faith for some time that this case would be solved. I was so confident that it would be solved, and that this was their main suspect. Probably a year ago, 2 years ago, I really, really doubled down on this man, Christian Brueckner. Christian Brueckner is, by all accounts, a deviant, a demon. He's just a bad person. And I want to tell you, and so I have a short video that I personally have put together. And it is my work, because that's what I like to do, is create my own content, use my own stuff, research for myself, make my own videos, narrate my own videos, edit my own videos. It's videos done by me, featured by me, narrated by me. And I do take great pride in that. I do take great pride in being the one who does that stuff. Now, I want to tell you that this is not an easy video to listen to. And if you are in any way, shape, or form sensitive, I would suggest that you don't listen, because the stuff that is going to be told isn't just about Madeline. There are others who need their story told as well. And I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then we can discuss more of it on the other side. Now, once again, I want to reiterate to you, and please heed the warnings, that this is not an easy video to listen to, but the information is there. It's been there for a long time. I did this video quite some time ago, and it applies wholeheartedly today. It absolutely applies. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and play the video. Now, before we start, there's one thing that I do want to say. When I did this video, and it is a video that I am proud of, yes, I absolutely say Maddie's last name wrong. I call her McCain, McAin. And I absolutely 100% got hammered in the comments when I posted this video some time ago. Big shock there. Now, I'm not going to let it upset me today. It's a whole new day. Things are looking up. I'm positive. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling much better just about life and everything that it brings. So, yes, I said her name wrong. Sue me. All right. So I'm sure somebody in the comments will be like, ha, it's funny. He said her name wrong. It's McCann, not McCain, dummy. Well, joke's on you because I already know. If evil had a face, this would be it. Christian Brueckner is a lot of things. He's a thief, a rapist, a pedophile, an abuser, a liar, and a drug dealer. And he might be the only one who knows what happened to Maddie McCann. This is The Lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. May 3rd, 2007. Madeleine McCann is on holiday with her family at the Ocean Club in southern Portugal. Her parents go for dinner with a group of friends at a restaurant in the complex. Madeline and her younger brother and sister, twins, stay in the apartment 100 yards away. The adults had devised a rotation system to check on all their children during the evening. When it is the turn of Kate McCann, she discovers her daughter, Madeline, has gone missing. Police are called and staff and guests at the complex search for her until daybreak. Border police and airport staff are put on alert, and hundreds of volunteers join the effort to find Madeline in the following days. In June, a Portuguese police chief admits vital forensics clues might have been destroyed as the scene was not protected properly. In the following month, July, British police send sniffer dogs to assist the investigation, and inspections of the McCann's apartment and rental car are conducted. And by August, it is 100 days since Madeline disappeared. Investigating officers publicly acknowledge she may not be found alive. On November 3rd, 2009, new images of how Madeline might look now are released. And in March 2010, McCann's criticized the release of previously unseen Portuguese police files detailing possible sightings of Madeline. A month later, in April, Jerry McCann says it's incredibly frustrating that police in Portugal and the United Kingdom had not been actively looking for his daughter for a very long time. And in November of 2010, the couple signs a publishing deal to write a book about Madeline's disappearance. In May, UK detectives reviewing the case say they have identified a number of persons of interest. And by July, Scotland Yard announces it has new evidence and a new witness in the case and opens a formal investigation. By October, Scotland Yard detectives say they have identified 41 potential suspects in Madeline's disappearance. On September 6th, Portuguese police interview Kate McCann as a witness, and on September 7th, detectives make the couple arguidos. Arguido in Portuguese means suspect, and days later, the McCanns return to the UK. Prosecutors later say there is no new evidence to justify re-questioning them. Jerry McCain releases a video in November saying he believes his family was watched by a predator in the days before his daughter's disappearance. And on January 20th, the McCains released sketches of a suspect based on a description by a British holiday maker of a creepy man seen at the resort. In April, Portuguese police fly to the UK to sit in on an interview conducted by Leicestershire police. And they spoke with the friends of the McCains that had dinner with them on the night Madeline disappeared. On May 3rd, 1 year since the disappearance, Mrs. McCain urges people to pray like mad for her little girl. By July, Portuguese police say they have submitted their final report on the case. Weeks later, authorities shelve their investigation and lift the arguido status of the McCains. If it wasn't some tragic accident, then what was it? Little did they know, a man by the name of Christian Brueckner or as German authorities call him, Christian B. Under German law, you cannot use somebody's full identification when they are a suspect in a crime. The man's name is Christian Brueckner, a German who was in Portugal. It's important to know Christian Breckner's past. Is it a coincidence that there was a predator just staying right down the road? Someone with a history of such bad behavior. It's a wonder nobody picked up on it years ago. Christian B. was born in Germany in 1976, but he moved to Portugal in his late teens. He's described as being white with short blonde hair and of slim build. He stands about 6 feet tall. He was 30 at the time of Madeline's disappearance, and he's been twice convicted for sex crimes against young girls. German police claim to have concrete evidence that Maddie is dead, even sending a letter to her parents. They believe he initially planned to rob the holiday apartment before he moved on to a sexual motive. The suspect, who is now 43, is believed to have been leading a transient lifestyle at the time, as he traveled between Portugal and Germany. Let's take a look at Christian Breckner's past. Christian B. has been linked with the disappearance of several children over the past 25 years, including that of a 6-year-old boy in Portugal in 1996 and a 5-year-old girl in Germany in 2015. Authorities in Belgium have also linked him to the murder of a missing 16-year-old who disappeared while on vacation in Dehan on July 5th, 1996. Her severely mutilated body was discovered among the sand dunes on July 11th. Christian B. has also been associated with the missing persons case of Inga Greckel. The child disappeared during a family outing in Saxony on May 2nd, 2015. The father of the missing 6-year-old, Renee Hasse, who disappeared on June 21st, 1996, while on vacation with family in Algiers, Portugal, roughly 40 kilometers from where Madeline went missing. He too claims that his son's case has been reopened. Christian B. has also been linked with the disappearance of Yair Soares, a 7-year-old who vanished in August 1995. And meanwhile, Peggy Knobloch's disappearance has also been linked back to the German native after she went missing in May 2001. And Christian B is now being investigated for the rape and murder of a 13-year-old German boy, Christian Brueckner. He is currently in a German prison serving a sentence for drug offenses. Christian B was convicted of raping a 72-year-old American woman in Portugal in 2005, but it is understood that he is appealing the charge. The suspect is believed to have a total of 17 convictions. Director Christian Hopp claiming he is known for stealing from hotels and holiday apartments. German police, who are treating the case as a murder inquiry, believe he initially planned to rob the holiday apartment before he moved on to the sexual motive. Scotland Yard also revealed that a 1980s VW white camper van has been linked to the suspect and was seen in Praia de Luz days before Madeleine McCann had vanished. Christian B is also believed to have been living in it for the days and weeks before and after the disappearance. And a 1993 Jaguar XJ-R6 has also been connected to the German sex offender, and one of the two vehicles is believed to have been used in the kidnapping of Madeline. What is the evidence against Christian Brueckner? Well, Christian Brueckner can be placed right outside the scene of the crime. 1 hour before Madeline's disappearance, Christian Brueckner had taken a 30-minute phone call. And the day after Madeline went missing, Christian Brueckner changed the registration out of his name on his Volkswagen van. Just days later, he returns to Germany. Christian Brueckner in Germany owned a small convenience store directly across from a kindergarten. He would constantly give the kids lollies for free and encourage them to come over to his shop. Revisiting the September 2005 case when he donned a mask and broke into the apartment where a 72-year-old American tourist was, the victim was bound, gagged, blindfolded, and whipped with a metal cane before being raped for 15 minutes. She said afterwards that he clearly enjoyed torturing her before the rape. May 3rd, 2017, Brechner is said to be in a bar with a friend when a 10-year anniversary appeal following Madeline's disappearance is shown on German television. He is said to have told him in the bar that he knew all about what happened to her. He then showed his friend a video of him raping a woman. It's understood the friend went to the police shortly afterwards. In 2016, following a rash of investigations for missing children, the suspect in the disappearance of little Madeleine McCann kept a stash of child pornography and girls' swimsuits and other clothes inside his mobile home, according to new documents. Police allegedly discovered the sickening collection, including 8,000 images of children being abused, inside Christian Brueckner's RV in 2016. Breckner, 43, reportedly bought the red and white Algero Bay RV in early 2010, 3 years after moving back to his native Germany from Portugal. It is reported by friends that he used it to drive regularly back and forth between Germany, Spain, and Portugal. And a former pal of Brechner's said, "The suspect told me I could transport kids in this space. Drugs and children, you could transport them in this van. It's a safe space in the van. Nobody can find them and nobody can catch you." Brechner, a convicted rapist and pedophile who is currently behind bars in Germany on drug raps, claimed he had nothing to do with Madeline's disappearance in Portugal in 2007. And police first questioned him about the missing British child in 2013. His claims of innocence came a day after German authorities said they had concrete evidence that Madeline is dead and Brechner killed her, although they won't reveal details yet because they do not want to blow the case. The Madeleine McCann case has seen a new breakthrough after investigators linked a secret compound to the prime suspect, Christian Brueckner. The convicted pedophile allegedly had access to the compound located in southern Portugal, where at the time Madeleine McCann, who was 3, disappeared. According to reports, the newly revealed compound belonged to Brechner's former German girlfriend. Authorities learned of the compound from the girlfriend's father, who was recently interviewed for a second time by the British outlet The Mirror. Quote, "No one knows that my daughter not only had a private residence in Portugal at her disposal, but also a separate compound," unquote, he told the newspaper. No one has ever searched there, or the property has never turned up in connection with Maddie. Overgrown with weeds and guarded by 4 aggressive Kangal dogs, this is the first time the compound has come into light in the decades spent in police's search for Madeleine McCann. Christian Brueckner is linked to a slew of missing children, and who knows what this will turn up. Hopefully some answers will be given and some parents can have closure. I believe not knowing is the hardest part. It's hard to imagine a situation where these kids would be found alive. I believe that Christian Brueckner is responsible for Madeleine McCann's disappearance and death. I have no proof, but all the evidence seems to indicate that a man who was a monster was cruising the streets the night she went missing. And if you can put this man at or near the scene of the crime within the time frame of when she went missing, it's hard to imagine a scenario where it wasn't Christian Brueckner, this serial child abductor, rapist, and killer. Thank you for listening to The Lab. Please subscribe, like, comment, and thank you to all the old subscribers and new subscribers. This channel is growing, and thank you everybody who supports this channel. I appreciate you more than you know. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. Take care. So there you have it. An absolutely gut-wrenching video. Not something that is easy to watch or hear or listen to. I completely understand. Now, today, officially, they are calling him the main suspect in the disappearance of Madeline. The German police say that they have proof that she is deceased and at the hands of this man. It is also rumored that he was working at the resort, not just cruising the streets. He is linked to the resort. He was at and around the resort at the very time that Madeline went missing. Now, I don't want to say that, look, what the parents did is the most tragic mistake that you could ever make by leaving your children unattended on vacation in a foreign country, let alone your own house, with an alarm. They were working on rotations, and they every 45 minutes it was somebody else's turn to go check on the kids. Now I understand that there are people that are suspicious of the parents. Fair enough. But how in the name of all that is holy can we not understand that this man was outside talking on the phone right before Madeleine McCann, and yes, her name is McCann, went missing? One thing that I always think about and trust me, the parents made a horrible, horrible mistake. And I think about it this way. What is more valuable to a parent, like a true parent? And I know that there are some parents out there that what I'm about to say may not apply to them, but there are parents out there who don't subscribe to this kind of thinking. But for the normal people, think about this. Would you ever leave the gold that you own in a room by itself, unlocked, unattended, in a foreign country? Your money, your wallet, would you leave that? No, I don't think that you would. And what's more valuable? Money, gold, children? Children are the most valuable, precious things that parents have. And they left that door unlocked while people like this man walk the streets. Folks, I'm telling you, learn from these mistakes. Most of you don't have to. Nobody has to tell you. But in case there's anybody out there wondering if it's a good idea or maybe it'll be fine, it's not a good idea. It's not. Like I said, most people don't need to be told that. And especially two very intelligent parents, it really begs belief. And I believe that this is the man. I always have for quite some time. And I know that there are others out there that believe that the parents did this. But really, if you think about it, what are the odds that this man, who's linked to, I don't even remember, I think it was 7, maybe 8 missing children, he just happened to be in the area when all of them went missing, and all they have him in jail for are drug charges. That's a little lost on me. But he was in the area. It's rumored that he was working at the resort. And I understand that it was reported that he was arrested for this. He was not, but he was named the main suspect, which is a major step in the right direction. Very good. Christian Brueckner is in prison in Germany on drug charges. No, I don't think it's a coincidence. And somebody in the chat mentioned, and I just wanted to point it out, that a lot of the little kids, the children looked the same. And I do want to say that in the video, I didn't use shortened versions of certain phrases. I did not, because sometimes when, we're talking about these kind of people, you got to call it what it is. You have to tell the world exactly who this person is. I mean, he's been convicted of violent crimes. The stuff that he's had in his possessions it's disgusting. The fact that people like this exist is terrifying. It's worse than any horror movie you could ever imagine. Freddy and Jason don't compare to people like Christian Brueckner. And there's so many things about this case that were the original, craziness of missing children. And I've heard over and over and over and over for years, this will never be solved. This case will never be solved. And I don't believe that. I think that it will be solved. And I think that the German police are doing their due diligence. And this man who changed the registration on his car and then took off to Germany, where he owned a candy shop where little kids would come and he would give them candy for free and try to get them to hang out with him. And God knows how many other victims he has. I'm guessing it's tons and tons and tons. I mean, what kind of a sicko owns a candy shop and gives candy away for free right across the street from a school? I mean, it's unheard of type behavior. And as glad as I am that the German police are still after him, they made many mistakes by letting him out way too many times. I mean, he was convicted of essays on an old lady, a 70-something, almost 80-year-old lady. And they let him out. How that happened, I don't know. Right, exactly. Shopping for his next victim. Be botanical, yes. Absolutely. Robbed her. That was his thing. He's a burglar. He's a burglarer. He is a drug addict, and he's a pedo, and he's an abuser of the elderly. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are to Christian Brueckner. He will assault you in any way that he can. He will rob you. He will steal your kids. And what else would he do? Obviously, the unthinkable. And the parents in this case, and I am so sorry for their loss. Trust me, the fact that they did not lock the door is beyond me. They failed Madeline. I don't believe, and there, like I said, there are people, and fair enough, I'm not trying to convince you of what I believe. I'm just trying to tell you what I believe and put something behind it that makes sense. A lot of people think the parents had something to do with this, but how could you think that the parents have something to do with it when this dude right here up on the screen is stalking the neighborhoods? I mean, you saw the list of things that he's been in trouble for. No, they did not use the babysitting service. And this is the level of failure in this case is staggering. And everybody, look at her parents, they're normal. I mean, I don't know how normal it's not. First of all, it's not normal to leave your door unlocked with 3 kids, 3 tiny children in a resort in a foreign country on vacation, let alone being at your own house. It's not normal. There's nothing normal about that. It will never, ever make any sense to me, ever. It's the stuff of nightmares. Why do you think kids are scared? Nobody likes the dark when you're a little kid, right? Why would you when there's people like this man? You got to protect these children. You've got to protect your children. This kind of case right here is, it seems as though if you may have locked the door or locked the windows or whatever, got a babysitter, probably not going to try this. But, you know, you walk in or you shake the window and it opens right up. You just crawl right through. And if it's true and it is found out that he was working at the resort, he could have been stalking them the whole time, watching them on video surveillance, knowing what they're doing, knowing they didn't get the babysitting service. So I would put my suspect above mine. Now it's everybody's suspect now. And yes, the parents at one time by the Portuguese police were considered suspects, but they also withdrew that. Trixie girl, I agree. 20 minutes is too long. 2 minutes is too long. You should never leave your child unattended, ever. Never. Ever. Little toddler kids, little 3, 4, 5-year-olds. I mean, never. And I understand that the video, look, the video was, it's horrifying. The things that were said were horrifying. It was hard to narrate that but people need to know that it's not all rainbows and sunshine and that people like this do exist. I mean, this is very real stuff. I mean, there are so many predators in the world, so many things that want to do us harm. Whether that's bad decisions, drinking and driving, drugs, self-inflict. There's enough things out there that are self-inflicting. You know, there's enough of that out there already that we can make so many mistakes on our own. Locking your door, getting a babysitter service. The resort had a babysitting service. It's weird. That's a very weird, odd thing. It is terrifying to think about, but this man is linked to so many missing kids. Why didn't they? Too cheap? I think they're rich. I think. They were both doctors. I mean, they were on a pretty extravagant vacation. You would imagine locking the door would be common sense, especially for two highly educated people. Be Botanical says, brand their foreheads. They walk amongst us. You have to pay attention to your children. Like I said, it's hard enough taking care of your kids under the best of circumstances. There are people, and it is true, they will just snatch your child right off the street. There's people that do that. It happens. It definitely happens. But it just doesn't seem like a coincidence that this man was in the area, changed the registration name out of his into somebody else's on his car, gets a big RV where he's driving back and forth through different countries, evading law enforcement constantly, which is another crazy thing. Tells somebody that he did this. There's a secret compound that he was living at, that he had a girlfriend, which is beyond me. I mean, dude looks like he's been hit in the face with a frying pan. One of his eyes. I mean, that thing's about as cattywampus as I've ever seen. A greasy, nasty human. Say he didn't have anything to do with Madeleine McCann's disappearance, which is to me highly unlikely. And I do hope, that they can prove this beyond a reasonable doubt, and that the evidence that they have will hold up, because they say they have proof, folks. They say they have proof. They say that they have it. Doesn't he look like the guy from the drawn scene leaving with a small child in pink nightgown? Yeah. Yeah, he does. I appreciate Josh's reach on this. However, I implore each of us to consider something other than the obvious scapegoat that has no bombshell evidence connecting him. And Terry, I would ask you, what evidence do you know that... What evidence do you know what they have? How do you know what they have? Do you know what they have? That's my question, is because, and I understand that, it would be hard to call this man a scapegoat in any sense of the word, but think about this. Think about this. He either works at the resort or he's walking around the resort. Okay. That tells me something. He gets a phone call. Now, if you want bombshell evidence, this kind of genre may not be for you. If they had it, he would have been charged many, many years ago. They've known about him since the beginning. No. See, that's just not really how it works. I mean, you do have to have evidence. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. They say that they can. Now, there's no rush. He's in jail, and they're still investigating. They could take the next 5 years they could keep going. There's no timer on them. There's zero time, and they just now in the last year have found 2 different spots to search where he had hard drives of little children, being abused. Yeah, scapegoat. I mean, I wouldn't call him a scapegoat by any stretch of the imagination. I personally choose not to have children because of these people. It's true. Oh, absolutely, Terry. Yeah, I am glad that he's in jail. I'm glad that he is in jail. Giabella wants to know, why did it take so long? Well, because there's not a magic wand. I mean, I'm not really sure. Yeah, they go, okay, well, we know about this guy. He's got a terrible past. They obviously have to have something to go on. And yet he's confessing to people, showing people him doing awful things to other people. I mean, is it a coincidence that he was there? No. No, I don't think so. Let's see. Had a compound to hide him in the van too. Well, nobody knew about the compound until about a year or so ago. Nobody knew about the compounds. It was just reported about the compounds were just reported. And they've been searching them. And they're not going to tell you what evidence that they have. They're going to put a plan together. And I mean, I'm sure they're going to try and make this stick. He's linked to at least 7 or 8 other children. And let's see. Be Botanical says video cameras were found in the place he was renting around the corner from the resort, bragging others locally. Absolutely. I think he had 2 vans, property, kids' bathing suits were found in one van. And I think some were also found at one of the compounds that was overgrown. She was such a headline over in Europe. Even here, they did analysis and coverage was so high as Princess Diana's death. But once it's not about the coverage, and it's not about how big the story is. It's about what you know, and it's about what you can prove. And if they feel now that they can prove it, I mean, they didn't just name him a suspect today just for the hell of it. I mean, that's not what happened. They knew exactly what they did by naming him a suspect, and they've never officially named him a suspect until today. Never. We can all say that he was a suspect, but he wasn't. He was on their radar. He was a person of interest, but then today they're calling him the main suspect. I mean, that has some meaning, does it not? I would think so. I would think so. And even if I'm wrong, which is totally 120,000% possible, Christian Brueckner is a sicko. And he should never walk the streets again. Ever. Never. Ever. Because people like this live around the corner. I mean, if you've ever looked at a registry, the amount of red that pops up, like when you just like, okay, how many of these SOs live in, my town? And then you click on it and it just goes, and it goes, they're everywhere. Whoa. You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree. A case that goes unsolved this long clearly has no scapegoat. I agree with that is a fantastic. He has been on their radar a long time. There's no doubt. This is Europe. Their justice system is different than ours. Yeah, I understand that. I do. Josh, I looked at the SO registry yesterday and I got nauseous. Yes, it will blow your mind. It will absolutely blow your mind. I think I missed. I hope I didn't miss one. I hate when I do that. Did I miss one? I think I missed one. I try so hard to keep up with it. Oh wait, is it here? I think I can't remember. It's fine. You guys are awesome. Could have witnesses. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. They won't tell us the evidence ever until it goes to trial or whatever. I don't even know what kind of, like, I don't know, as somebody just pointed out, that the justice system in Europe is different than America, that I'm aware, but I don't know really how this works. But I know that for the longest time when they were discussing this and he was on their radar, that they would have to call him Christian B. They couldn't call him Christian Brueckner because that's just their rule. It's a weird rule, but it's a rule nonetheless. What do you think of him taking her for human trafficking? Could he took all that? Yeah, of course he could have. Sure. I mean, it sounds like he was, who knows exactly what this guy was into, but the fact that he was bragging that he was trafficking drugs, I don't see why he wouldn't be trafficking children. But he's a German citizen who traveled back and forth. I mean, he really, truly is their issue to deal with, not the Portuguese police. The Portuguese police have basically given up. But yes, I do think, yes, it sounded like he was trafficking drugs. He's in jail for that kind of stuff. So absolutely, he could have. Could she be alive? I mean, you know, that's a story for, that's a topic for a different day. I don't know. It's so hard to tell. No, I don't think so. Germany, the way that I understand it. He was charged a year or so ago, but he was already thankfully in jail. I mean, it's a great thing that he's in jail. This is also true. Allegedly, the crime was not secured immediately. Yes, they didn't take it. You know, they didn't. Yes, that is true as well. No doubt about it. Yes, everybody that I reported on in the video, all those children are still missing, and they are linked to this man. I just don't find it to be. It's funny. You hear this all the time, and we hear it even in the Summer Wells case. What's taking so long? What's taking so long? Wouldn't this have been? Wouldn't this have been if he had did it? Wouldn't there have been proof? I mean, they solve crimes 20, 30 years later down the road, folks, all the time. All the time. Yeah, and Be Botanical, I really do think that the Barry Morphew situation it's a minor setback. Yeah, I mean it happens all the time. They have people in their sites for years. They just don't have anything to connect them. Chris McDonough talks about the Leticia Hernandez case, and they are trying desperately to get some DNA to turn up on the suspect that they've thought and basically know who did it, but they just can't prove it. He's been on their radar for forever. They just can't prove it. So it's not like, it's not that simple. It's like, well, they knew about him a long time ago. Well, they know about a lot of things. Let me see here. Weren't the twins passed out and mom was checking if they were breathing all through the investigation? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I know that the parents definitely acted weird, which brought their own suspicions. Yeah, knowing and proving, that's absolutely right. Knowing and proving are two different things. Even the Metropolitan Police in the UK has evolved. Most probably the Portuguese. I don't think so. I think that this is now. I mean, Germany's been kind of handling this investigation now for quite some time, but I hope you're right. Barry's situation is devastating. I'm happy to wait justice for Suzanne. I hope so too. I hope that they have new evidence coming up. I mean, if you're into this, if you're into following these kind of stories, folks, if you're new to it, if you're not new to it, the stuff takes forever. I mean, the wheels of justice are absolutely horrifyingly slow sometimes. They're just absolutely, they can just grind to a halt. And if we get upset about every little thing that doesn't go our way, you have to absolutely take a step back and know that there are guidelines that these investigators have to follow. Totally off topic. Was she found a dirt with a rock on top today? It was no. I don't watch your show, but I appreciate that circus music. That sounds about right. I've found many a rock. I found many a rock. So that's the thing too. I don't know what Germany has as far as, or Portuguese, as far as like double jeopardy and stuff. Found a rock. Yeah, I really struggle with, psychics and stuff. I don't know. There's too many rules to me for the psychic stuff. That's just my opinion. Feel free. Josh, in Summers' case, they have a buttload of stuff they can charge them with. That's true. That's true. Germans are the ones that have the most, and they're not giving all to the public. Yeah, and they shouldn't. They absolutely shouldn't. There's no reason. I mean, look, man, if she's right, and if it happens, I hope so. My faith in that kind of stuff is not, I just, I'm not really a psychic kind of guy, but I'm not going to throw shade at anybody either. I just think that there's so many rules. It's like, well, it has to be this or this. And I was talking about this and on a certain, you know, uh, if psychics work, I mean, we wouldn't really need cops. I think it just, yeah. If there's anything, yeah, I'll be happy. The resort had babysitting services for a minimal fee. They couldn't afford that. Sorry, it doesn't sit right with me. I agree. I agree. That's a terrible, terrible thing that they did by not doing that. But that doesn't mean that they're guilty, just like it doesn't mean that Christian Breckner's guilty until you can prove it. People for a long time supported or still go after the parents. I believe that I don't think that the parents had anything to do with it, but I think that they were about as negligent as you could get. And the one reason I don't think they had anything to do with it is because of the weirdo on the screen right there. And yes, they were doctors. They could afford it. Kate was also the one to find her missing, and the window was open. And Christian Brueckner was in the neighborhood and working at the resort, probably. I mean, I'm gonna put Christian Brueckner's reputation, like if I compare the two, like it's not even close. I mean, it's just like crazy, you know. What would be the odds, or there not sooner or later be discovered there? Wait, what would be the odds on there not sooner or later be discovered there to be a S offender? I mean, I almost passed out trying to read that. Sorry. In close proximity to the hotel, some version of this suspect. I mean, that's that, you know, I get it. I get it. I get it. Offenders always hang around where there are prey. That's true too. I used to babysit at hotels when I was younger. You absolutely. I mean, yeah. What the? It's just it was absolutely terrible what happened. Offenders always hang around where there are prey. It's so true. Opportunists. Breathe. I know. I almost passed out, dude. I was like, and then I was like, wait, what? And then I got the little lazy eye that old Brechner has here. Hopefully somebody slapped the hell out of him. So yeah. He's like, yeah, he wouldn't, I guess. Yeah, true. No, well, that's not true either. Just because you work there doesn't mean that you can get in. Trust me, I've worked at a hotel before. I didn't have an access card to every hotel or every room. You can't just, it's not really how that works, but yeah, I think so. No worries. Yeah. I just, I think about this kind of stuff and look, man, I just, we got to wait and see what the evidence is. I mean, I have a feeling that some of you in the chat, and that's totally fine, or some of you that are going to watch this, no matter what kind of evidence they bring, there's people that still believe Brian Laundrie's alive, that he's did some miraculous whatever. There's people that still believe that little Chloe's parents were involved. Like it's a weird. I I suspect that no matter the evidence that's shown, people are going to be believe what they want to believe. That's just how it is. You know, that's just appreciate the replay crew and the live crew. I love the live crew and the replay crew equally. Giabella's not giving up here. The behavioral panel that was on Dr. Phil's show that analyzed Don and Candace Cornbread Mafia said the parents, based off their behavior, are innocent. Yeah, but like, I mean, right. But I don't care what, like, I'm sure that they're very helpful in certain situations. But that doesn't mean that they're always right. Nobody's always right. But the parents are guilty, in my opinion. Doesn't seem like they're being looked at as suspects anymore, does it? That's right. Michael Jackson's not dead. Somebody said Dr. Phil's a fraud. That's not nice. Yeah. I'm sure we could debate this all day, and it's totally fine. Like, I have no, like, if you believe that, I don't think anything different of you. I'm just telling you what I think. I would rather try to put a case together against Christian Brueckner than the parents. There's just a lot more there, even with what we don't know. And if you don't believe the German police when they say that they have proof that links Christian Brueckner to the kidnapping and killing of her, well, you're just going to have to wait and see. But if the evidence comes out that says, yes, it's here, the DNA is here, there will still be people that want to be conspiracy theorists, blame the person that they're locked in on. Fine. But, you know, you got to at least look at the evidence. I don't know why they haven't yet. Maybe they're still trying to build their case. Maybe tomorrow they'll charge him. Maybe next week they'll charge him. Maybe next year they'll charge him. Maybe they'll never charge him. But that's what they say. I'm just telling you what they say. Yeah, I mean, the behavioral panel has some training in the field of interviewing, but they're also in show business. I mean, look, I got nothing against them. I'm sure they're very, very smart people. But you know, I don't think that everybody kind of falls into the line of, well, they touch their nose or they scratch their shoulder or, you know, I don't think that you can read tweakers very well. I really, truly don't. And if you've ever, like, when I watched him interview Dawn, I don't care how much training you have, you're looking at that dude's lips going, you're going to die because your blood pressure's through the roof, Donald. That's just, you know, I don't know the answer to that, but it's quite I mean, I think it's a bit. They're not really worried about him leaving jail, which is maybe why it's taken some time as well. But that's, like I said, that's just really, yeah, I just, Portugal, I believe. Okay, jurisdictionally, Portugal. What do you think about the cadaver dogs hitting on the parents' car? Learning this case, just so wondering. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. There's been so many. Yeah. It doesn't seem to have put them in the crosshairs of the German police. There's so many more victims they haven't found yet. Yeah, exactly. Computer crimes are international. Good point. Oh, look at Maui girl. How are you doing? So glad. I'm so sad. I'm glad he's in jail. Me too. Whatever he had to do with this case, and even if he didn't have anything to do with this case, Christian Brueckner is a pile. He is lower than human scum. He should be at the bottom rung of hell, and he doesn't deserve the respect and dignity of even being on this earth. I've said this before, maybe not a popular opinion. There are just some people in this world that even jail is like way too good for people like him. And I know that a lot of people are against the death penalty. But what do you do with these guys? You just lock them up? Like, there you go. We'll just go into the system for the next 50, 60 years. We'll see you when we put you in a coffin. I mean, the unfortunate part of that is that there's still pleasures in life. Even when you're in prison, there still are pleasures in life. It made me upset to know that my dad, who's serving 25 to life, gets to play on a softball team in prison. It's just like, huh? Oh yeah, softball season. What? Softball season. Where? Prison. They just redid our field. What? Softball? It's like, oh my God. Softball? Softball's a privilege. Softball's a privilege. And I know, man. I was just like, when I was told that, and he told me that when I was trying to give him his crap after my grandmother died, his little briefcase full of, whatever was in there. And he was telling me, softball season's coming. And I just like, yeah. He did fall and break his leg playing softball though. So that was cool. He really did. And then he got to go have emergency surgery for free, with painkillers and everything. It's just a weird world, but it was cool that he did fall and break his leg. I was cool with that. I mean, whatever. Breathing is a privilege. You're right. Breathing is a privilege. They get cable too. That's true. They certainly do. No, yeah, you should get nothing. Nothing. The Wells have lied from the time they open their mouth. They can lie convincingly because that's what they do. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, hopefully. Oh, wait, here's see. Whoever asked about the cadaver dog's trigger warning, they said it could have been because Kate's clothes being in contact with the corpse as a family doctor. Yeah. Yeah. Bread and water. Take the balls. No softball, take the balls. I'm with you on that. I love softball. I used to play second base at shortstop a lot. Did you play in the California Penal League? Did you get to play? You get to play softball there? My ex. Yeah, my abusive ex is in prison and he orders cheeseburgers, all kinds of crap. Local jails may be crappy, but prisons, no, they're fine. Forever piss me off too. Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they can get all, yes, you get cable in prison. You can have your own little TV. It's funny though, the TV is like, it's just this little TV and everything is clear. It's like see-through. So you have to be able to look through it so nobody like hides a file in there and tries to file their way out of prison or whatever it is that they do in there. Nope, you didn't play in the California Penal League. That's good. Now batting, True Cowgirl 1, playing shortstop for the California Pelican Bay Pelicans. I couldn't think of the Pelican Bay Pelicans. I couldn't think of anything else. Now batting for the San Quentin Squirrels, True Cowgirl 1. Now batting, I'm just, oh man. Now batting for the LA County Crooks, yeah, I agree, but you have to pay your taxes or you'll go to jail. Fine, yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. It's stupid. Trust me. Some prisoners are treated better than citizens. Honestly, like if you break your leg playing softball in prison, which is what happened, and you get a surgery done free because you're such a pile that you're not even allowed to be on the outside. I mean, you should have to make way more license plates. Like that's what should have to happen, you know? You should have to make a ton of license plates. Like you have to do triple the license plates that others have to do to pay off your surgery. Or you should have to like go, well, we can't really see. That's the thing too. It would be nice if you could just pick up trash, but like these high, like, likely reoffenders really, you don't want to take them out and put them around everybody, but like, yeah, it's like, okay, dummy, once your leg heals, there's a big pile of rocks that you're going to have to, like the boulders, we're going to need you to break those down and then move them over there and then move these ones back over here and we can just be done with it. Prisons have to get the ST port channels. They would riot daily. TV is cheaper. Yeah, I mean, I guess whatever. Not really. I mean, they have some. I mean, they're not allowed to like vote and stuff. My son was. So I'm going into this one. I haven't really read it, so hopefully it's. My son was in prison for driving offense 2015. They had Indian head massages. No joke. Dude, that's another thing. They have sweat lodges, like an Indian sweat lodge. I learned that one too. And then when I showed up for the parole hearing one time, like there was some red on my shoe and I literally had to go and get either black or white shoes from the Walmart down the road. And they were Velcro. I had to go get Velcro black shoes so they'd let me in the prison for the parole hearing from Walmart down the road. And I got a churro on my way at the food court because I was pissed because the fact that I was like late because I had to go get Velcro shoes. Unbelievable. Yeah, no shorts. No, it was stupid. Can you believe that? And it was the tiniest bit of red. It was so stupid. Exactly, dude. The fact that I had to wear Velcro and it was like I liked the shoes that I was wearing at the time. So it was disappointing. Let's see. We have homeless vets living on the streets and they get cable. Yeah, that's true. Velcro. Do you do victim statements to keep them in there? Any chance I get. Hopefully they don't turn my mail. Can you imagine Josh in Velcro shoes? No, you cannot. But what I'm telling you is I still rocked them. I certainly did. And they became my lawn cutting shoes. Talk about adding insult to injury. Yeah. Adult Velcro shoes. They were look, guys, this was a while back, and it wasn't like I was flushed with money at the time at all. And I had to, it's 2 hours to get there. And then they told me that I couldn't come in. I came up to, so here, my two choices were go to Walmart and get Velcro shoes, or don't go. That's it. That was my options. And I chose to go, and I got the Velcro shoes, and they were dope, and I liked them. Kind of. They were my prison shoes. That's what I called them, my prison shoes. And then I remember thinking, I could just put these up for like next time. And then it just went all like satellite calls. So you didn't even need to like dress up anymore or dress up. I mean, you really basically have to wear like a Canadian tuxedo, the denim on denim, with a white shirt tucked in or whatever. I don't know. It was stupid. But yeah, they moved it all to like satellite calls. And then like after that, I didn't have to wear, didn't have any use for them. So I cut the grass in them, which was good because they were black. So you couldn't really see the green. You couldn't see the green stains from my shoes on there. And I know it's so stupid. Slip on Vans. Absolutely. My son is a correctional officer at a major California prison. Oprah Winfrey. Will you email me? I am curious. I don't what the hell is Oprah doing there? Annoying people? Denim on denim. That is the Canadian tuxedo. That's true. I do. I only wear Vans. What? I'm just saying. Denim on denim. Yeah, I love the smell of Velcro and fresh cut grass in the morning. It's phenomenal stuff. Love it. Love it. Just kidding. I don't really love it that much. For sure. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah. Oprah is probably giving away cars. She's all into Oprah's into this like innocence, like, crap. I mean, a lot of people are really into that, especially people who've never had like violent crimes happen in their family. So I was willing to wear whatever to get in there and just say whatever I had to say. I would have definitely rocked a prison jumpsuit that said D block on it. And I would have wore some cholo sunglasses and shown up in a lowrider that was bouncing on hydraulics with the black Velcros, all black on black. It's the best. Don't call shoes dope there, just saying. Don't say dope at all. Dope, knife, or ramen. You don't want to say ramen either. Yeah, I'd rock it. Do anything. I'd do anything. You guys are funny. Loving the Velcro. Let's go. I'm going to get some Velcro shoes. Spliff is something you don't want to say in there. Don't laugh at Velcro shoes. My old ancient daddy had to have Velcro shoes because it hurt his back to tie his shoes. Well, I don't think that your dad's going to like when you called him your old ancient daddy. Wearing Velcro shoes doesn't really seem so bad when you say that. So shout out to your dad who wears Velcro. I respect him very much so. That's true too. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for that super sticker. Very nice of you. Velcro is dope. Giving an impact statement is so stressful too. I know, especially when you got Velcro shoes on. It ratchets up from a pressure 6 to a pressure 10 fast. It's like, dude, my feet are not secured. Laces out. My feet aren't secured. If one of these crazies get a hold of me, they could steal my shoes like it's nothing. It's just, and it's off. At least when you have shoes, people have to like untie them. But if I got grabbed by the feet, boom, it's 4 pulls. So no, it's actually, so if somebody were able to grab me by my ankles and pull me over to the cage that they're in, if they were very skilled at stealing Velcro shoes, what would happen is I'd have those Velcro shoes off in 2 moves. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel comfortable. Whack. No more shoes. You guys have a great night. Thank you for being here.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
There is not, really? It is to me.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I had to put her on the side and worry about
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy
There
has.
is not, really? It is to me. Right. Idiot.
I've done my best. It's hard, you know. That's real tough.
but I had to put her on the side and worry about the boys.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
Live from the NBD Production Studios, you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not, really? It is to me.
But I had to put her on the side and worry about the boys. But I had to.
There is no investigation.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I had to put her. But I had to put her on the side and worry about the boys.